Hey church, Pastor Matthew here, and Merry Christmas. Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving, and we're in Advent. We're headed towards Christmas. Everybody's got their devotional books, and we're getting spiritually ready for Christmas together. I'm really excited about Christmas celebration services coming up on the 22nd. We'll be doing 3 of them that night. Candlelight at all 3. Some really special night. We do have the nursery open, but all the kids are invited into service. We'll do candlelight, we'll do songs, and we'll talk about what Christmas is really about Jesus coming to set things right for us because we couldn't do it ourselves. And so God entered the world, Emmanuel. That's Jesus's title, Emmanuel, God with us. And so I'm really excited about Advent, really excited about everybody doing this devotional together, really excited about the Christmas celebration services coming up. And I know you're already thinking about who could you invite. I'm doing the same thing. So we'll be talking about more this month, inviting folks to the Christmas celebration service, but make sure you're planning on coming too. Make sure you're coming that evening. And we've backed up the services, Christmas celebration services, back from Christmas Eve because your friends and your neighbors have plans for Christmas Eve, and so they couldn't make it on Christmas Eve. So we backed it up to the 22nd on purpose so that you can invite friends and family and neighbors so people who don't yet know Jesus could come. There's more information about the Christmas celebration services in the newsletter, but I also want to make sure you're aware of the special Christmas offering. The special Christmas offering is a very special offering we only do once a year. When we ask the question, what could we do above and beyond? What's a big dream for the next year? What would we love to be able to do, but seems like it's out of reach? Maybe financially, maybe for the size of our church. And so each year we do a special Christmas offering to say, what could we do? If people gave generously to Jesus, if we gave generously to Jesus, if we made that our very first and best gift to God, what could we do? And so this year for the special Christmas offering, we have 3 special projects we'd like to take on in 2020. The first one is we would love to be able to do community impact events throughout our community. Now, in the last couple of years, we've been doing community impact events, and we've kind of focused on 6 now for this next year, 6 that we've done well, and we'd like to do even better this next year in 2020. And so the first big project are the community impact events. So we're talking about days, special days like Football Sunday, and special days like the Easter services, and special days like Trunk or Treat, and Serve Day, and the car show, and the Christmas celebration services. Rather than wait for the community to just show up and come to us, we are determined to go to them, to invite them, to get to know them, to throw parties, to meet the neighbors. And so that's what those community impact events are all about. When I look around our church, what I see is everywhere I look, I see folks we met for the first time at a community impact event. And they got to know the church a little bit. They started coming on a Sunday here and there, and then eventually they came to know Jesus as their Lord and Savior. God transforms lives and eternities through days like Serve Day and through things like the Trunk or Treat or the car show. And so we want to invest in those for this next year. We want to do those 6 events and do them better than we've ever done them before. The second special project we want to take on for 2020 is we want a new front door for our path. Now, the discipleship path is the track that we all use to grow in our relationship with God. It's part of discipleship. It's part of growing in our relationship with God. It's part of following Jesus. And so we actually, in this last year, our goal was to have 60 people take at least one class in the path classes. And so these include things like the welcome lunch for folks who are brand new to the church. It also includes things like starting point and connecting point and taking point. And so we prayed and worked towards having 60 people take at least one path class in this last year. We've already had over 90 people take at least one path class, and many people have taken 2, 3, or 4. We've even had people who finished the entire path. They've taken one of every single class. And so for this next year, we want to add 2 path classes, but specifically, we want to add a new front door to the path. We want a new class that would probably meet somewhere in the community, not in our church building, and it would be built specifically for people who aren't even looking for Jesus, for people who wouldn't step inside a church, but they do have questions about religion and spirituality and about God, and maybe they like Jesus, but they don't like the church. What would it look like if we did a path class for them somewhere in the community where they could ask all their questions without being worried about being judged or being laughed at, and really make a wide front door for people to step into the church, belong to the church, and eventually become a part of the church, eventually come to know Jesus. And so I'm really excited by this possibility. Now, there's a lot of what ifs and what would this look like for this big project, and it is a big project, but I'm very excited about it for this next year. So goal number one, project number one, is 6 community impact events. Project number 2 is a new front door for the path. And then project number three, is one the kids are excited about, which is a new playground at the church. We'd love to build a large industrial-sized playground for the kids who are already a part of our church, for the foster care system who uses our church building, and for our community at large, for the kids in our community. Nothing says kids are welcome here. Nothing says kids are wanted here like a giant playground. And so this is something that we've wanted to do for years, and it's finally time. We need to, at this time, we need to build a playground on the church property for the kids that are already part of the church, the kids we're serving in the community, and for the families that live around the church, so that families and kids would know they are wanted and welcome. And really, we're looking forward to them at Good News Church. Now, this is the big price tag one. I had never priced out an industrial-sized playground before, like the kind you see around the city, the big playgrounds. And the project is going to cost us about $40,000 total. We already have $22,000 towards this playground, and so we're looking to raise the additional funds necessary to be able to do the playground. All 3 of these projects together come to a price tag of $25,000, and it's a big number, I know, but I also know that if we all give something, we will surpass that number. Each year, as we've done the Christmas offering, I've asked the same thing, and I'm going to ask you to do it again this year. Maybe for you, this is the first year you've done this with us. My request is not, I'm not going to tell you what to give, but I am going to ask you, would you begin praying now and say to God, God, what would you like me to do? And whatever it is he tells you to do, you do that. This isn't about Pastor Matthew twisting your arm. This is about you having a moment with God, you listening to him and doing whatever he asks you to do. Nothing more and nothing less. And then together we'll all have a special Sunday where we bring our gifts together all at once, and it'll really be a holy moment. We'll take communion that day, and we'll celebrate what God is doing. We'll celebrate the Christmas offering, and so I'm looking forward to that. There's more information about the Christmas offering in the newsletter, and there's information about the Christmas offering and Christmas celebration services on the church's website too. So make sure you look around the newsletter, check out what's going on Facebook, and make sure you check out the church's website. If you ever have anything you need from me, don't hesitate to ask. But in the meantime, have a Merry Christmas.